In this video, I will be showing you how to work out relative formula mass, RFM. So we're looking at relative formula mass. A few students have asked me to explain how to do this. So let's start with an example. Carbon dioxide, CO2. Now to work out relative formula mass, we need to identify all the atoms. How many atoms are there of each type, and then we will go to the periodic table, and in the periodic table you need to identify the atomic mass, i.e. the top number of each element in that formula. In this example there are 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms. In other words, C plus oxygen plus oxygen. The periodic table tells me that the atomic mass of carbon is 12 and oxygen is 16. So as we identified, there is carbon, which is 12, 16 plus 16, because there are 2 oxygens, total 44. Let's look at a second example, a harder one, calcium hydroxide. Now please notice, now you have calcium and then in the bracket OH with the 2 outside. In chemistry we write this slightly different to maths, because in maths the 2 would appear in front of OH. Okay, anyway, now let's identify the number of atoms in this formula and how many of each type. Okay, so we have 1 calcium, so there's 1 calcium, so let me identify for you. So there's 1 calcium. We have oxygen times 2, because the number outside the bracket tells you everything multiplied by 2, and we've got hydrogen times 2. So this is where the confusion sometimes arises as to what the number on the outside of the bracket means. Okay, so now there is 1 calcium, there are 2 oxygens, and there are 2 hydrogens. Let's put the numbers in. 40, 16, add 16, which is 32, and 1, add 1, which is 2. That comes to, add it up, 74. That's how you would work out relative formula mass. Let's try a harder one. This is the last example now. Let's look at ammonium sulfate. At this moment, please don't worry about the formula, how that's written. That's a different topic. So ammonium sulfate. Now let's identify how many of each type of elements are here now. Okay, so NH4 is in the brackets with 2 outside. That means there are 2 nitrogens. So this time I'm just going to do N times 2. There are 4 hydrogens inside the bracket, and with the little 2 outside, that tells me there are 8 hydrogens. There is 1 sulfur, so we've got 1 sulfur, and there are 4 oxygens. Let's add up things. 2 nitrogens. Now the periodic table will tell you the atomic number for nitrogen is 14. So nitrogen equals 2 times 14. 8 hydrogens, well, hydrogen is 1. So we're going to do 8 times 1. So that's 28. That's 8. We have 1 sulfur. So that's 1 times 32. And we've got 4 oxygens, which is 4 times 16, 32 out of 64. Let's add it all up. 16, 18, 22, carry 2, 3, 5, and see 11, 11 and 2 is 13. So your formula mass is 132. Hope this helps, and please watch the video, and if you're unsure, let me know if there's any more queries. Thank you.